What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, seems that everything is dying. I mean, first it was PSVR 2 died, and now E3's dead. What's going on? What's going on in the industry? All the things that used to be big and powerful are crumbling down. Sort of. Okay, so the thing, how I understand it, the whole E3 thing, right? So, what do they call? Fuzz Pop, Zibby Dabby Pop, whatever they call. Took over the logistical part of E3. Meaning it wasn't the ESA, they handed it off to Smacky Pop, whatever they're called. And they are the people who run the PAX shows across the world, I guess? I don't know. And so you figure, hey, they know what they're doing, yeah. But what happened was, I think, from what I gather, they started too late, and all the big corporations and companies who have plans, they have their plans locked in early in the year. And PopCap's a video game studio. But these Super Pops, whatever the heck they're called, they started too late, as I understand it, and everybody had to pull out because, it's too late. You can't be like, I mean, I guess they could just plug it in, right? Maybe. But I guess that's not how it works, or these companies that were supposed to be there are using that as an excuse not to spend the money that they are requiring to fill out I guess it's the Staples Center, LA Convention Center. I don't know what it's called. Doesn't matter. But as I understand it, it's millions of dollars to have a booth up in there, and that's a waste of money. When you could just be like, let me just shoot this in my garage and put up a stream and some videos and call it a day for $20. Okay, it's not $20, but you know what I'm saying. It's not gonna be $1 million or whatever the cost is for these things. Economically, it makes sense for companies not to be at E3 based on what E3 was. E3 needs to change. E3 needs to be the business part again. They need to focus on that. They were focused on all these big grand booths. For who? For whom? For the public? No, because the public wasn't allowed before. It was all glitz and glamour, pomp and circumstance for the outlets, the news outlets. But you don't need to do that anymore. So, they're cutting back on those expenses. $1 million can make a nice little indie game. Give us $1 million, we'll make you a game. E3, I'm not E3, but any company who wants to, let's go. That's what I'm saying. So that old model of, you got to go to E3 in order to be seen doesn't exist anymore. So E3 needs to change. E3 needs to, I said this before, and if you want people to go to E3, you need to make it an event. Not what it was, like, is this where the industry gets in? No. You need to make it so that people want to go to E3. And you also have those behind the scenes appointment things where the public can't see, I mean, other than that, it's just, sending out codes and stuff to people, or sending out or flying them in to bespoke, events that you hold yourself, which would be cheaper, I think. And that's the main thing. It's the cheaper. You say, okay, I'm going to go and get, 10 of the most influential influencers or outlets out there, fly them all out, show them the game, sign this NDA, tell them what they can and can't say. Boom, done. It's targeted, it's focused, and it does the same thing that E3 does, except it costs way less. And that's it. So, yeah, E3 is dead, but it's only dead in that it's dead compared to what it was. It's dead the way it was. It's not going to be that anymore. Booth babes, remember them? Remember Booth Babes? I remember Booth. I've never been to E3, but I remember pictures and videos of Booth Babes, and oh boy, I was a young lad. My color of hair was different back then, and the Booth Babes were plentiful. They didn't have a lot of clothes on, or it was tight. But honestly, the shock and awe, or not the shock, but the awe of Booth Babes wore out. Mainly because everybody's wearing yoga pants anyway, so it's like, okay, everybody's wearing yoga pants. I mean, people who shouldn't be wearing yoga pants, okay, tangent. All right, I'm just saying, everybody's wearing yoga pants. There is no more imagination necessary. Everything's out there. Some even rocking the camel toes. I'm just saying, I don't mean to be lewd or something, but look, I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all already know. I'm just saying. I'm like, you ain't even gonna... okay, let me stop, because this is about video games. Or the lack thereof. Or the lack thereof in E3 this year. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's the end of how E3 used to be. You know, Geoff Keighley. Geoff Keighley's gonna have his Game Fest, whatever the heck it is. Summer Game Fest, is that what it's called? I don't know. He's gonna have that. And it is an E3 surrogate, I guess, or it's good enough. As long as there is a collective gathering of the industry in and around the summertime, in and around the E3, what it used to be, then everything's all good. The E3 is not going away. The E3 is not gonna, crumble down and go out of business. That's not what the E3 is. The E3 isn't the body that puts on E3, the ESA, isn't the body that puts on E3 and that's all they do. No, the ESA is specifically to represent video games. Whether it's congressmen, people talking about, these murder simulators, blah, blah, blah. E3 steps in and say, hold up, video games are art, go F yourself, bye-bye, I mean, a lot of these old senators and Congress peoples, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They really don't know. And, you need somebody who's in the industry to school them. And that's what the ESA is there for. The ESA, I believe they were responsible for putting together the ESRB, I think. I might be wrong about that, but this is all self-governing stuff. Like, ESRB is not government mandated. It's the video game industry got together and said, let's do this so that we don't get in trouble, because they were getting in trouble because of Mortal Kombat back in the day. But anyway, just like the movie industry made PG-13, blah, 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 same thing. Maybe not as bad as the movie Association of America, MPAA, whatever it's called. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic I won't get into because I'm not, nope. Anyway, ESA will be alright, because they're the lobbyists for video games. That's their job. E3 was extra credit, okay? So it's not a big deal if E3 goes away. As long as Geoff Keighley keeps doing his thug thizzle, maybe the ESA and Keighley get into an agreement and the ESA pays him some money to represent the E3, or maybe they let him use the E3 name. He pays the ESA a little bit of money or whatever, or vice versa, whatever. It's all in the, it is all for the video games. It is all for keeping that alive and keeping it healthy and stuff. So yeah, it's just not a big deal. PSVR 2, that's a whole, I don't know. I already did a video on that. We don't need to talk about that again. But it's funny. I was listening to some podcast today, specifically the IGN podcast Beyond. That's their PlayStation podcast. Man, first they were like, "Oh yeah, PSVR is kind of whack. Ain't got no games." Da, 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 da. They were going in. Even Jeff Grubb. And they everybody. I haven't heard anybody say anything good about what's going on with the PSVR 2, and it's hilarious. And after they did their sad song about that, I mean, they weren't sad. It was just sad to hear a PlayStation podcast just talk about the state of PSVR 2. They're like, yeah, it's nope. Yeah, when your greatest allies and proponents are just like, yeah, nah, sorry, 550, no, then you know it's bad. Anyway, they soon lighten their spirits with a little bit of RE4 remake talk. And so I was like, I guess that's cool. They like it. So that might actually end up being Game of the Year. I hope Starfield makes Game of the Year. Makes Game of the Year? Doesn't sound right. I hope Starfield gets Game of the Year. I hope that something else comes out that is better than Resident Evil. Excuse me. Resident Evil 4 remake. Because what? Game of the Year for a remake? No. Sorry. I mean, it's a good remake. I haven't played it yet. I was going to play the demo. I got to download it. I was like, I don't care. Making that song is more important than freaking playing a remake. So, trying to get the song done. But anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out, showing up, letting my number, like, subscribe. If half of y'all watch the video, subscribe, then I will reach my goal of, I reached the goal of 300. Thank you, I appreciate. I will reach the goal of, I guess, 400? We do it by hundreds. I'm trying to get to 1,000, honestly. So 1,000 is the goal, but, you know, baby steps. That's what it is. But anyway, let me know in the comments. What do you feel about E3? Do you think it's necessary? You know, is it? We know it's not, but, you know, how do you think it can be saved if it needs to be saved? Is it really that big a deal? Boop. And if you want to talk about the PSVR 2 again, you can. It's all good because people are still talking about it. But, you know, let me know. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Take the wait.